Hello, everybody. This is Out of the Box Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Andre. I'm here with my co-host, Bradley Powers, and we'd like to welcome a special guest tonight, David Nash. How you doing,
Hey,
David?
everybody. Hey, everybody. Namaste to all my peeps out there. How's everybody doing? Que pasa?
During the introduction, Jim, whilst the show was going through the introduction, I got told that my browser don't support the show, and they just stopped me, and I've had to come back on another device. Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering where you disappeared.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you disappeared to,
I got kicked off the browser, Jim.
I was adding you back onto the screen, and then you disappeared. For a second, I thought I accidentally removed you.
Google kicked me off the browser. Said the browser weren't compatible. Wow. Can't believe it. Never mind. Anyway, I'm here. Jim Andre is in the house with David Nash. Who is David Nash, in case you're wondering? David Nash is cashing in his Premier points. He has been following me since 2015, all those years ago. Wow, unbelievable. And he remembers me in my youth, and he has witnessed a lot of subjects, esoteric intellectual subjects that we have covered. And David is an esoteric intellectual himself, and he has a wide, diverse knowledge of out-of-the-box information. And that's what he's on the show.
Oh, now I'm just a student like everybody else. I'm just a student. Yep, lifelong student, right?
That's right. Life is a never-ending, continuous learning process.
Yeah, it's like when you get out of school, you think, "Oh, great, I got out of school." Oh man, how we're still in school? Then you realize I'm never gonna graduate until I die. Yeah, and then you probably just go somewhere else and start over again and learn a bunch of new crap. So,
death is the ultimate graduation.
Yeah. Just the passing from one school to another, I believe. We always evolve, never go backwards. That's just physics right there.
Andy Cassidy is here. Hi, Andy.
Always going forward.
What's up, fellas?
Hi, Michael.
Hi there, Michael.
Yeah, guys will have to probably read me the comments if there's any questions or anything like that, because I probably can't see comments, so I don't know what's going on out there. And there could be 0 people right now or 55. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, well, we'll go as we go along. I don't see any comments coming in at the moment. But
Yeah.
Bradley's got more than one device, so he could probably pick up on more of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I would send links if I could. So if anybody can hear me in post tense, remember I said this. I would send you links if I could, but I can't. So I ain't.
Oh, I'm working on it. Okay. For some reason, my some of my devices won't show me the show at the moment. So I've got to be
Got to give all the regulars, man. Got to, I'd like to see Daisy and Gail and Candace and Shannon and Karina and Lord Jade.
Michael Letty is asking, did you guys hear that Charles is living in Dracula's castle?
In Transylvania? Yeah. I did not hear that. No. What?
Bradley would know more about that than we would. He's over there in England.
What was that?
All
Prince
I know is that I post King Charles as a portrait been released. It's on the internet right now of King Charles. It's his portrait. It's all in red, and people say red is satanic. So like people are actually finding negative vibrations from the portrait already, although it has positive. There's a butterfly actually in the portrait as well. A butterfly means like peace and prosperity.
Nobility. Yeah, the art. I read the artist comments below the painting on Google, and he said he put it for nobility and something else, but he gives a full explanation of what he did, for the picture, explains all the metaphors and whatever. I don't remember. I just remember the butterfly part. I don't remember what the red is for. I think red is always kind of always contrasted with love, and nobility and royalty, I think, and all that. I don't think it has anything to do with like the Red King past or anything like that. I don't think. I don't know. People are saying the red shoes, because the elite society and the pedo stuff and all that crazy wacko stuff. I don't know if he's into all that. I don't know that much about him. Maybe he is. I don't know. But Prince Vlad, he's living in Prince Vlad's castle. That's interesting. So there's a question I got to ask the guy in the audience. Maybe you guys know. Did Prince Vlad ever become a king, or did he die a prince? I do not know.
Oh, that's right, Vlad. Yeah, Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, he was a prince.
He ruled
remember,
the
Prince
empire.
Vlad. Yeah.
Yeah, he ruled the empire, didn't he?
I've seen a lot of documentaries on that castle. It's a big tourist attraction, right? People from all over the world go and visit it. No one's lived there in hundreds of years, I believe, and yeah, the whole town. That's their tourist, thing right there, and they keep it really nice and pretty and all that all the time. I didn't know King Charles was living there, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Already lost Jim. So what time is it in the UK?
Oh, it's 10:02 in the morning.
2:10. Wow. Yeah, so all my UK friends won't be able to see this until tomorrow. Some have already let me know that.
I am having difficulties. Facebook glitch. I'm not permitted to share the show.
Oh, really? You're not able to share the show with Facebook?
I can't get access to the show at the moment. I'm working on it though. I'll find a way.
Yeah. So where all do you stream it to right now? Currently,
I could stream it to 100 groups if I wanted to.
I mean,
it's like 4 messenger groups, 4 private messenger groups of mine, and I stream it to like the Alien Connection Truth Network, which I believe is there already anyway. But I stream it there. I stream it to the Enigma broadcast, Matrix Minds broadcast, and I was hoping to add it to yours. You just got to be patient. I'll see if I can find it. I'm trying to find the show first. Can't find
I like that Matrix Minds. I just got turned on to that last week, and I've watched every show since, or everyone I could. And that's I like that guy that does the show.
Yeah, Matt is. That's a pretty good platform. Yeah.
He's pretty good at what he's doing there. So that's a show that's probably going to go well.
Midnight Rider says King Charles has stated that he's related to Vlad the Impaler. That's why.
Related to that deal. Okay.
That's why he's living in the castle, in his castle.
I could explain a little bit more, yeah. Oh, the royals, they kind of always stay kind of related to each other, don't they? As the procession goes.
And
Take them all the way back to
might sound like a really cruel guy, but he actually saved his empire from being destroyed by an army massive that he could never have competed against. He would definitely have lost the battle by impaling all those criminals and vulnerable people. He actually saved his empire, saved it by performing a cruel act. And they discovered how to insert up the anus and how to reach it so it'd go right up into your up halfway through your abdomen. And yeah, they worked out a way to do it. It was a lot of thought went into what they did, and it was a success. All that misery and pain and suffering for those who were impaled was a complete success because he never lost his empire because he did it that way.
It was like a fear tactic, I guess, to do that. People come along and see 100 bodies on sticks.
The army come over the hill and saw what they saw. All those people going, alive. They were like, oh man, we don't want to get involved.
No, I don't want to mess with that. They won.
They turned around and went back. Yeah.
Right. Terror tactics here.
Shout out to Peggy.
Hi, Brad, Jim, and how you doing, Peggy?
Hi, Peggy.
And John Davies says Ivor the Impaler was King George's father.
King George's father. Yeah, I definitely don't know my royal history. I need to study that a little bit more, I guess. But, yeah. But now that we're live, I would like to repeat something that we was talking about a while ago, if you don't mind. On this new viral post, originally put onto the internet after it was completed, a painting by Yao Ming, whatever his name is, Yeo One, that did the red portrait of King Charles. Just released it, I guess, and a lot of people took it, and of course somebody mirrored it right away, makes that double reflection, and that's gone viral, and everybody is forgetting about the original already. And I had to go through Facebook to everybody that was posting the mirrored image and go put the original image on there just to show people that, okay, this is the original image. This is not what was, taken. The mirrored image was a post effect and share after that, and that went viral. And of course, in the mirrored images, you can see what appears to be demons and entities and all this kind of stuff. And what I was trying to explain to all these people that was posting this and everybody going along, with the illusion, just wanted to say that if you mirror a picture like that, it's going to do that. So it doesn't matter. You could line up 10 girls in Sunday school dresses, 10 years old in a line, take a picture of them, mirror it. And it doesn't matter what it is. A mountain outside with clouds, ocean outside with clouds. When you mirror the picture, it's always going to make that effect where you get these weird illusions of like a demonic entity in the middle and sometimes in the corners and other places. And it's just the effect of the mirroring. There's nothing to do with, demons in the hidden realm behind the scene or nothing like that. But I mean, maybe that's the world we live in. Maybe we are always surrounded by demons and we just don't know. But anyway, that's what that is. So people, please don't freak out when you see the mirrored picture of the portrait of King Charles. It's not a demon. It's a natural photographic effect from the mirroring. And that's all I wanted to say on that.
I've bypassed the Facebook glitch. I'm now sharing the show.
All right.
I'll message you anyway. Yeah.
How was the Northern Lights in the UK? I got to ask. That's one thing I haven't asked you yet. Was you able to see them?
Northern Lights, does that happen indoors or outdoors? I'm more of an indoor person.
The Aurora Borealis from a solar flare throwing plasma into the ionosphere. You get the electrons dancing around, and the plasma particles. You can see them change colors.
All right, I'll tell you. From what I understand, from what I see people, in the in Britain who actually filmed it, and it was spectacular. It really was spectacular.
I was asking you if you got to see it while you were over there. Well, while it was
Not
going
me
on.
personally. I'm like a hermit at the moment. Merlin was a hermit, lived in a cave for 5 years, and now it's my turn to live in this
but
cave.
you're a night guy, right? Like right now, you said it's 2 a.m., right? Like if it's like we were having a solar storm right now, you were having the northern lights above you, and you didn't have too many clouds. The sky wasn't, covered. I mean, you could go out and see them right now, right? They peak between midnight and 2 o'clock in the morning. Right.
It's 2 in the morning. I stay up all night for Jim Andre, basically.
That's what I'm saying. You could have went out any time and seen him, and even if you can't see him with your eyes, you just take a picture of him with your camera, and the camera picks up the colors.
I am dedicated to serving Jim Andre. I stay up all night because America's awake all night. You know what I mean? Between like 9 at night and 6 in the morning. That's when America is active.
Yeah, but you must be used to these hours by now.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean?
It's like having a night job, I guess, right? I've worked nights. I never liked working nights. Work all night, sleep all day, that kind of thing. Eat supper at 6 o'clock in the morning, breakfast at 7 p.m., whatever. Yeah, weird life.
Yeah. I'm sharing the show on Messenger at the moment. I'm going to copy the link and then try and get it onto your timeline. Okay, so that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah,
you should be able to do that.
So the northern lights, the borealis, it was one of the biggest ones. Well, I guess it was the biggest one in 20 years because we haven't had a solar storm that size in 20 years. So they went all the way down to Florida. They were seen in Australia and a lot of other. I mean, usually the only way you're going to see the lights in Florida is if they have what they call a southern borealis, and those are very, very, very rare. Maybe one in 20, 30 years if you're lucky. I remember a couple in my life, never got to see them, but heard about them.
Yeah, I'm down here in Florida. We never get to see that.
Yeah, but I mean, they went to Florida. I don't know where you're at in Florida, northern or southern, but
I'm in Central
they went all the way central, around Orlando.
Yeah, I'm in between Orlando and Miami. I'm in Lake Wales.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably a small town. I don't know where that is. One of my last loads before I quit, I went to Miami, south of Miami, way down there on the island, to deliver one of my last loads before I quit 7 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's a small town. I'm out in the sticks amongst the orange groves.
Yeah. You see, you're kind of far from all the cities?
Well, not really. I mean, a little ways. But yeah, from the big cities, yeah.
Yeah. So I know you get out in the sticks in Florida and you get to more like fire country. They got a lot more fires out there, a lot more heavier woods and all that. And
yeah, it's all wide open space, really. I mean, it's a lot of orange groves.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got that part of Florida. Yeah, a lot of orchards. Like California, right?
Lee Grantham says, "Good evening, out of the box gang. How you doing, Lee?"
I want the link, don't I? About that. Yeah, Lee Grantham. And Peggy Bardowski said, I believe she would see the Northern Lights here in California. Amazing.
Yeah, I was lucky and I got to go to Montana before all that started. So I got my pictures, finally got to see them the first time. Got some pictures, not great pictures, but at least I got some pictures and got to see the total eclipse this year in Oklahoma. About 4 minutes of darkness there. So that was cool. I
watched the total eclipse with Cody Greer. He actually showed it to me as it was happening. And for a half hour, I spent with him for 5 minutes. And it's quite amazing. Yeah. Well, I didn't get the full effect because of his video camera. When it was dark and you couldn't see nothing, the video camera made it light so you could see everything. So he's going, look, he walked around saying, look, you can't see nothing. And I was going, I can see everything like on your video camera. So that's quite amazing itself. Mother Nature, though, isn't it? All this is Mother Nature. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jim likes to talk about Mother Nature.
there's different filters you can use actually to see it better, but
So there's not many people in the audience yet. No questions.
I'm working on trying to get this.
yeah, I don't know. Bradley might have some comments that I can't view. That's the way this works. I don't know.
For some reason, Jim, I don't know why this is happening. First of all, my show, when in the introduction, I was not compatible for the browser, and it wouldn't let me anything. I'm having to go to the Enigma channel to share to all the messenger groups, but I'm unable to share into any other groups. It's not even on my timeline at the moment because I don't know why. So I've restarted everything, and I'm going to have another go. Hey, Jim,
Yeah,
sorry
well,
about
that's glitches, I guess.
Facebook glitches for you. I'm trying to. It's not even on my timeline. I'm trying to get it onto your timeline as well, David. So that's the glitches we're having. But we've got like quite a few viewers at the moment. But I haven't got. We have got a question from Tony Walsh. Thank you for joining us. Tony Walsh says, David, are you an experiencer? And I can answer a little bit of that. Is you was telling me like you have experienced some phenomena in the past. Is that right, David? Would you like to share some of your experiences?
I'm not an experiencer, probably in the way that she's asking. I mean, that's kind of needs to be kind of a specific question right there. There's what do you call an experiencer? Well, I mean, I grew up in high spiritual moments from a young age, some epic adventures. I lived with a traveling family. I went to 20 schools growing up. I've lived in over 150 towns, constantly on the move. And then the last half of my life, truck driver and seismographer, so constant moving, gypsy, seen a lot. This would really be a case by case thing as far as experiencer goes. Yeah, I've seen, God, hard to think, probably 40 UFOs. I've had ghost experiences. I've had talking to the dead, or at least listening to the dead experiences. Oh man, I've seen a lot of things that I've never heard other people even talk about. So I mean, yeah, that's I almost wish that was more of a specific question. So I don't really know where to run with that. But,
you was telling me about your father, grandfather, uncle standing beside your bed.
That was my first. I mean, it wasn't my first experience, but that was the one that's always going to stick with me. It's like, like you have a trauma in your life, say like you're 4 years old and you're 80 and you remember it like it was yesterday, right? And that's how that event was for me. If you want me to retell it, I can.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so we're in Bakersfield, California. It's 1970. I'm 5 years old. My dad was a seismographer then working for GSI. In the past, him and my uncle Ronnie, his youngest brother, the baby brother of 5 boys out of 7 kids, he was my dad's helper. And my dad was the first American that went to the North Slope of Alaska as an American to work in the oil field at the North Slope of Alaska, what they call now Prudhoe Bay. It was unnamed back then. This is mid-60s. They'd come back. They only worked the winters up there, just like now. You can only work the winters up there when everything's frozen. So anyway, we're in the fall now, and he's about to go up there again. So they're on break. Ronnie, my uncle, he's in Montana or North Dakota, one of the other. We're on the border there. I don't remember which town. We're living in California, and but anyway, just another normal night. I going to bed, and I wouldn't even laid down 5 minutes, and then it was just like my eyes were wide open. I've always had insomnia. Maybe it proliferated more after that, but anyway, I just laid down and I was looking straight up, head on my pillow, eyes wide open, thinking who knows what a 5-year-old thinks. But all of a sudden, I just seen his face in front of me. I mean, it looked like it was like 6 inches to a foot in front of me, but it was a clear picture, not like he was so close it was bugging me, right? It was comfortable distance. It's like he was there. That was definitely in between dimensions with all this. I could not perceive distance or like the size of his head or anything like that. He had been blind in one eye for a good 10 years. He shot his eye out with the BB gun. When I seen him, his face right in front of mine, his eyes were perfect, blue eyes. He didn't have an age spot or a line or a crease on his face. And there was just brilliant, beautiful, brightest white light you could possibly think of in the background. But it didn't hurt my eyes whatsoever. And the only thing I remember him saying to me, and I never said a word, he said something like, "It's going to be okay. I'm great. You're going to be fine. You're going to be blessed. You're going to live a beautiful life, whatever." And that was it. So me, 5 years old, I jump up, and he disappeared, and that was it. 5 years old, I jump up screaming, run to the living room, and I'm just screaming top of my lungs. I just seen Ronnie. Ronnie's in heaven, I mean, I'm sure at 5 years old I'd heard of the word heaven, but I really didn't know what that was, I'm just seeing my uncle with this bright white background looking beautiful, run out of the living room. Hey, I just seen Uncle Ronnie in heaven. Of course, they think I'm having a nightmare and send me back to bed. And like I said, I'd only been there 5 minutes, and so maybe another minute added to that, And so, yeah, I go on back to bed, wake up the next morning. My dad's in the living room by the front door, 2 suitcases packed. And, my mom's still in her morning clothes. And I was like, Daddy, where are we going? Where are we going? Because we traveled all the time. We vacationed. Every day he had off, we was always going. So I thought we was going to go somewhere. And he's like, "No, you can't go with me. I got to fly to Arkansas. I got to fly home." And your Uncle Ronnie passed away last night in a head-on car collision. And yeah, so, and then he was gone 10 seconds after that, and he was probably gone a week or more and came back. But yeah, that's where it really all started for me. This little weird connection with this other side. Just like you said, that you had your first experience. What'd you say at 9 years old? So
Yeah,
I was
9
like,
years old. Yeah.
so I was like 5 3/4 maybe. So I mean, yeah, I see that in so many kids through my life. If they have an experience at a really young age, it's kind of like opening that third eye or whatever. And then you're just connected because you've seen it. So it's like you can't unsee it. So it's like it happened. And I can just picture it in my mind just like it happened a minute ago. And that it'll never leave my mind. It's the way his face looked, the perfection of everything. It's the whole feeling of it. So that's how it started that part of it anyway. And then I just always felt very protected. And I always felt like he was my guardian angel. And when I got of age, I went to work with my dad on the drilling rig, a truck-mounted drilling rig. We did seismograph and water well, geothermal. I did that for 16 years. But when my dad was a company driller for, I don't know, 25 years or so. And then in I guess it was 80 or 79, we were living in Texas, and he bought, a good deal on a rig, on his own drilling rig. He always wanted to be an owner operator, run his own rig, a lot more money, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that the rig that he bought was the one that him and his little brother, sorry, my Uncle Ronnie, had worked on for years before that. This rig was like an old 1956 Mayhew 1000. And I worked with my dad 5 years on that rig before I finally got my own rig, started doing my own thing with it. But it was a very dangerous job, but I always felt protected. And even when I got hurt, I usually just walked up without a scratch. And I've had a pipe fall on me from 30 feet in the air, 2 7/8 pipe. Those weigh about 350 pounds. It fell from 30 feet, drove me into the ground, and just knocked me unconscious. I never really went totally unconscious, but it knocked me out, kind of blacked me out, but I was still aware. But time I got to the doctor, I was fine. Just let me go. And I mean, that should have killed me. That was one out of 1,000 things that's happened to me in my life. I had a rollover car crash when I was 17 years old. That was my next connection that really put me to seeing and connecting to this higher side that I've been slowly leaning into all my life in these little steps. This guy hit us in the back doing 80 miles an hour. My cousin Greg and he was driving. I'm in the passenger seat, Beach, North Dakota, and flips this, like, I don't know, I don't know how many times we flipped. And we flipped and went down the median and rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled. Just completely crushed the car in around us. While all this was going on, the only thing I remember I just remember seeing the lights because I guess he plugged his brakes on a split second before he hit us from the back. I seen the lights flash. The next thing I know, we're rolling, and I'm aware that we're rolling, and I'm aware we're in a crash. But it was like time stopped and stood still, and it was like a helium balloon popping around in the tin can. My body's going all over, but I just feel like a balloon just kind of popping around. And I seen my entire life at that time, 17 years old, flash in front of my eyes. So I completely believe when people say, "Hey, I seen my life flash in front of my own eyes." I seen it. I know exactly what it's like. It's like billions of pictures, like watching a slideshow, right? Where you're watching individual slides, but it was like if you could take all the slides and just do one by one, but crazy light speed fast. That's what it was like billions of these still shots, that made sense. It's very crazy. And I have no idea how long that lasted, but the crash itself probably lasted, what, 7, 8 seconds? Who knows, right? I mean, but yeah, that was yeah, that wasn't the only time slip, but that was one. So I seen my life flash in front of my eyes. Never seen that again. So I guess you only get one go at that one because I've never heard anybody else say either that they've seen their life flash in front of their eyes twice. So I guess you get your first. You don't get it after that.
Yeah, yeah. I'd just like to say hi there, Matthew Turner. We're on Matthew Turner's platform. Thank you for joining us. He says, greetings, everyone, and the mess, my friends. He's listening while he's cooking the bacon. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for sharing your experiences, David, as well. Very interesting. I knew you had some to share, to be honest with you. You have experienced some, but I understand what you're saying. You wouldn't say you was a conduit, but you have experienced some. David Daly says, hey guys, how is everyone tonight? We're pretty good. We're listening to David Nash. He's Esoteric Intellect, I would say. He's been following me since 2015. He's been following me. And that's the way from the show. Cashed in his premiere points.
Yeah,
Jim Michael Farley says, what's up, Jim?
Yeah, hi, Jim. Christopher,
the energy of this gathering. Hey, I could actually see a comment.
Hang on, David. I didn't get that one. Christopher Peebles. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what you were reading.
It's my first live show ever. Anybody that can hear me say that. I'm almost 60, and I've never been live with anybody, so this is it.
That's okay.
First time.
Yeah.
So I'm honored it's with you guys, and especially since I've known you, Bradley, for like you said, 2015, 16, whatever it was. You guys are all like a big kind of social media family to me. We've been friends for a long time, and you've introduced me to a lot of friends, and
yeah, thank you.
Been through so much just since then.
What's Matthew saying?
Matthew Turner says, oh, Bradley, this is not my platform. This is our platform. This matrix of minds was built so those who do not have a voice would have a voice, dear brother.
Done?
Keep going. You're doing great.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you. And what Jim was reading earlier was back from Christopher.
I'll give you a call, Jim. Vic says hello. Hello, Vic.
Hey, Vic.
Hi there, Vic.
There's another very enlightened person I'm starting to know for a while now, Vic Makarov. So shout out to him. Great mind right there.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not an experiencer like Vic. I think his are like mine, or might be by the week or month or year. I think his are by the hour. So I know it's not a competition. I'm just saying that's just facts,
Tony Wolf is asking, what did the beings look like?
Asking me what the beings look like?
I don't know. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, because I don't remember ever mentioning beings.
Yeah, they were spiritual entities, Tony. Spiritual entities that are related to David Nash.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not sure what she was asking there. I was saying that I seen my, my deceased uncle, as he was crossing over from this dimension to the other dimension. By the way, that was the first time. That's happened other times in my life. Now, every time anyone extremely, what I call soul family, which is blood kin, or someone like that, adopted family, passes away, I also see them, not in the same way I seen Ronnie, but I at least know that they were there, that they passed over me to say goodbye. I'll see like the slightest silhouette, but I could still make out their faces enough. And it's usually more of a distance of 6-8 feet away. I've noticed, not up in my face like when I see Monk Ronnie.
Christopher Peebles was dropping by to access the energy of this gathering. So thank you for that, Christopher Peebles.
Yeah, I like Vic, man. He's a god. Yeah, I wished I had. So I don't have any talents, right? I just have experiences. I don't really think I have any talents. There's people out there that got some talents, but
Tony Walsh is asking, what did the ET beings look like? David Nash never said he spoke to any ET beings, Tony.
No.
They were relations.
No, I've never spoke to any ETs. I've never seen. I mean, you see a lot of weird people in your life, and you wonder, I wonder if he's a hybrid. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, but no, I've never, as far as I know. I mean, I can't write down on paper that I've seen a direct alien entity like in my face, or looking up at a UFO, and I've seen one looking out the window, like a few people have, I guess. But no, I've never got that lucky. I've seen, like I said, probably 40 odd UFOs in my life, but never seen any entities. But
And Fergal Forelli says, did you want to read that, Jim?
I truly believe that.
Hang on, David, Jim's going to read. Fergie Forelli's got something to say.
Okay.
We can't hear you, Jim. Sorry.
Oh, what are you saying, Bradley?
Yeah, Fergie Forelli. Did you want to read that one, Jim?
Yeah. Fergie says, I am very happy to hear your past loved ones have come through to you. This is very meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something that's very profound. So that will be with you for the rest of your lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely not the only one that has that story, and don't even claim to be. I know a lot of husbands that lost their wives and seen their wife after they passed, or vice versa. If you guys know about Whitley Strieber, he still talks about it all the time, and he has nightly experiences with his wife. So, this is definitely not a one and done, right? It's just tapping into that connection, or letting them connect you into it, I guess. Maybe. I don't know who really did the connecting. It's one thing I'd like to know. I guess the connection is always there. We just keep it closed off, I guess. And somehow, sometimes we get it open, I guess.
This one could be for you, Jim. Christopher People said, which ones from which system, star nations? And like Jim Andre.
I think he's referring to this here. McFarlane saying that he's seen aliens in his bedroom.
Oh, well, okay.
And I'm familiar with that. What he's talking about. It's a short grays, Zeta Reticula.
I think I told you before, Bradley, that I had seen angels, but that was even at a younger age. At like 3 years old, I got a what do they call it? Rheumatoid fever. It's an extremely high fever, and if it gets too high, it can kill you. Right? You can get your brain too hot, 106 degrees or whatever, fry you. Right? Make you a vegetable in a coma, kill you. But I remember I was really sick with that when I was 3 years old, and I remember actual angels, and it sounds, I don't know what it sounds, but I mean, these angels, these women with these fully long silky gowns, kind of like we just see in the books, with like these old Italian Renaissance artists made them out to be, like these beautiful, um, angels with these long dresses, tall as human women, just beautiful. So I do believe in angels, living and beyond in every dimension, whatever they are in that one realm anyway. But as far as ETs, aliens, reptilians, Draco, now I don't know. I don't know anything about any of that. I think we're all, I don't know. I think we're all a lot more human like humans are on Earth, really. Because I think that we're kind of from, kind of think we're from them anyway. So,
got some questions for you, David. Vic Mackerel says, have you or are you aware of being abducted, David Nash?
well, like we was talking about earlier, Bradley and Jim, I mean, I talked about time jumps, right? Driving across New Mexico, I was telling you all about on I-40 back in 2001. I hadn't been solo very long. I'd been team driving for a long time before that, but I was solo. And yeah, I just like 70 something miles, like 72 miles, I think it was, went by. And I did not remember how I drove that last 72 miles. And this was broad daylight. I'm not saying I was abducted, but you know, we was talking about like when humans get into a point in their brain where they fully experience the now and not what we call linear time. So I think that's just a trick of the mind, because we all live in this now. You can't go back 1 second. You can't go in the future 1 second. It's always the now, because all your brain does is decipher time 24/7, unless you're asleep. And you're sleeping, the brain shuts down. You fall asleep, and boom, you wake up, and you don't even remember the night you slept so good. That's because your brain wasn't running its clock.
So, David, don't you believe in Time Lords then?
Yeah, I believe in many, 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 many theories of time structures, restraints, delays, repetitions, deja vus. I have my own theory on deja vu. I've had it for 40, well, not that long, 30 years anyway, and my own theory of deja vu. But yeah, I believe in all that time stuff. Time is a very strange thing. Yeah. It's like they say, you go out in space, you go through a black hole or whatever, and you come back an hour later. Now you're, 80 years older or whatever, than when you left Earth. Yeah, that stuff's real, man. That stuff is real. Einstein had all that in the equation a long time ago. But
yeah,
Jim McFarland says when he drove truck, he had a loss of time and believes that he was teleported.
yeah. Yeah, as far as I know, I've never been teleported. If I did, they erased my memory well enough that I don't know. I do have some strange lumps in my body here and there, and I sometimes I wonder if they're chips, but yeah, it could just be calcium deposits. I don't know. I just try not to think about it too much, Some of these.
It's a question for you, Jim. Tammy Barnum says, aren't the Greys a hybrid species created by the Draconian and the reptilians?
Well, there's a comment from Christopher Peebles here that says, no, Tammy, they are an alternate Earth human timeline version of humanity that, through their obsessive connection to technology, eventually became infertile and thus deviated from the Homo sapien genome. But what they are today is more like artificial intelligence. They're all clones of themselves. They're just here. They're just here on a mission, basically.
Sentient beings.
Sentient, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that stuff's too deep for me. The only thing I can do is look at the written fact. I like stuff written in stone, baked in clay, and it took them, hours and hours and hours just to write a few words down, And
Jim McFarland is saying to say a little bit about his experience that he had lost time when trucking. He was out on the road, I believe it was Wisconsin, if I remember correctly, and he was going down the highway, and there was a bright flash of light that blinded him. And after his eyesight was returning, he was off the highway on a single lane road, and he was like 50 miles from where that flash of light occurred. And when his vision started coming back, he was approaching a red light, and he had to jack up on the brakes to stop the rig. And he had to turn around, travel like another 50 miles through small back roads to get back to the expressway. And what initially happened was the next morning he Googled the area he was in or something, or had found out somehow that there was an accident with a trucker involving a car, and all the parties died in that accident. So kind of like
that's crazy.
It was kind of like they were taking him out of harm's way, I guess.
It's more like divine intervention, right?
Right.
I've experienced that. Yeah, I can totally relate to Jim on those stories because I can't count how many divine interventions I've had. Oh my God. Just so many of those. There were so many of those, man. If I would have just been 5 seconds later or 5 seconds earlier, oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm also pleased to say that considering the fact that I got a Facebook glitch and I can only go to the first post on my timeline, not no further on any device. Considering we got Facebook glitch, we are really pulling the crowds in, Jim and David. We're pulling a massive crowd in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the theory? And this was, I don't know, this was popularized maybe 20 years ago. I don't remember who wrote the book. It's kind of like a Nietzsche thing, right? It's kind of like we're living right now, and we go through these times, and we die in these accidents, and then we just you go into a continuum of what if you wouldn't have died, right? And you were still doing whatever you were doing in another reality. So we're living in these multiple realities all the time. Like there could be a 2-year-old, a 30-year-old, an 80-year-old Bradley Powers, like running around like right now, so, like on these different timelines, these different dimensions,
Yeah.
But theories like that are getting more popular as time goes on. I don't buy anything just because it resonates with me. I like to see evidence and facts and truth and weigh it out, balance it, whatever. But it's there's a million good theories out there I love. That's one of them. Of course, Nietzsche said this was basically all fake anyway. It was basically all like Nietzsche basically said like this is all an illusion. Like none of us are alive. It's just one thought, right? And there's none of this is real.
Vic Makarov would like to share a thought with you, David. He said it's good to finally meet you and hear your story, David Nash.
Yeah, good to see you're out there, Vic. I kind of miss our old conversations of last year. We was having some really good conversations, me and Vic and Donnie Lothridge. I haven't seen him around in a while either. And one of your groups.
John Wilkes says that he's literally been lifted out of fatal crashes, and he has been told by his higher self who saved him. Wow.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. Is it your higher self? I went through the same thing. I got T-boned by a semi truck. He was doing, I don't know, around the speed limit in Iowa, about 70 miles an hour, and I was doing 5. And he creamed into the side of me. I'm loaded gross, 80,000, 79,000 something pounds, just right up to gross, hauling railroad concretes. And again, it was like with the old wreck. And again, I didn't see my light flash in front of my eyes. I'd seen the lights, I heard the hit, and then again, it was like I was immediately put into this bubble. And that's the only way I can really describe it. It felt like angelic hands lifting my body up. Of course, I'm in my driver's seatbelt on, but you feel these angelic hands lifting me up and floating me along with the truck. Truck came crashing down, of course, and went into the ditch and then crashed into the embankment. And I didn't feel nothing. And there was nothing in that truck that was out of place. The only thing that was out of place was something in the bed. I don't remember what it was. Could have been a box, a pillow. Something came up from the back to the front. It was like one thing. Everything, you couldn't even tell the truck had even gotten a wreck at all. The trailer was a V-shaped because he'd hit it right in the center of the trailer. It was crazy looking. The trailer had like a 45-degree angle, and I didn't feel nothing. I just felt like I was lifted up through it and just sat down.
Jim McFarland says the alien grays took care of my health problems when they visited me in my bedroom. when they laid their hands on me, it was like God had touched me, and it was all peace and loving feeling.
And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, these guys, they get real experience, right? And they get these real experiences.
And John Wilkes says, yeah, Brad, a poly-me told him that in 2019, when talking to his higher self, he told her about the many saves. Wow, astonishing.
Did you say Ptolemy?
I haven't heard from a poly-me for quite a long time, to be honest. We used to be pretty close, but I lost touch with her, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you were saying Ptolemy, like the old philosopher Ptolemy. Never mind.
There you go, Bradley. Why don't you read this one off? I might not get the whole thing on my end.
Okay. Matthew Turner says, bro, you're absolutely correct. It says though you're standing up at a distance at some point, watching what's going on in the time slows down. I've driven for 30 years and I've rolled 2 semi-trucks. I completely understand what you're saying. And I personally believe that we are in a simulated reality, so real you will never know whether the ground you walk upon is real or it is not real. I say that because this physicality is damn pretty dense. Dense. Thank you for sharing that, Matthew Turner.
It's kind of that same Nietzsche or Matrix principle, like we was talking about earlier. Yeah, there's a song that's by, I don't know if you've heard this band, it's called Switchfoot. Switchfoot. They have a song called Meant to Live. And that has been my question ever since I'm going through all these near-death experiences, which went well over 100 by the time I got out of high school. So when that song came out, I was like, well, I guess that's just it. Some people has a written fate underlying 3 times, and you're going to make it to that point. And you're just not going to die. You're going to go through a lot of stuff. But for whatever reason, you have to carry on to this singular point. Yeah, then who knows after that? But yeah, it's a very strange thing. And I'm such an empathetic person, and I've shed a billion years for the world. I've shed a billion tears for the world, and just babies that die before they get to leave the hospital, let alone everybody that dies so young over stupid accidents and everything else. And I always have that survivor guilt, even though I wasn't in a situation, where I was the only survivor out of a group of people, but it's still like a survivor guilt because I'm always like, why me? Why am I still alive? I should have been gone a long time ago. Another thing I didn't mention about my uncle earlier, the one that died, and you can ask my dad, any of my family this. When Ronnie was growing up from 13 on, he used to always say, I'm never going to live to my 21st birthday. I'm never going to live to my 21st birthday. And of course, everybody would laugh at him and whatever. And yeah, he died. This was like 5 days before his birthday when this happened. Like I said, it was a head-on collision. He was on the right side of the road. A drunk driver was on the wrong side of the road, coming up over a hill on a 2-lane highway in, Sydney, Montana is where it was out in the country. Those old rolling hills of Montana, North Dakota, kind of like a roller coaster hills, you can't see over the top, and blind hill, and came over and killed him and 3 other people in the car. And the only 2 people that survived in this big old car was his mother and her baby. There was 5 people in the car.
Yeah. Chuck McLennan says he's loving the show. It sounds like a Rolling Stones interview. Great show, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna wear one of my rock shirts for the show, and I was like, it don't matter. Probably can't see my shirt anyway, so yeah, I was gonna wear my Hard Rock Vegas shirt that I got in Vegas last year. But anyway,
we've attracted a big crowd. I'm really pleased to have you on the show. We've attracted like well over 50 viewers.
Yeah, I was just saying that about my Uncle Ronnie, always talking about that he was never going to live to see the age of 21, because that's exactly how I lived my life. That's exactly how I lived my life for like 30 years. Well, I'm never going to see 18. I'm never going to see 21. I'm never going to see 25. And it was just like that. I remember I was seismographing, driving from Poto, Oklahoma to work, 45-mile ride, just to the Dynamite magazine. to go get your dynamite and start the day, meet the crew. And every day, the song "Knocking on Heaven's Door" by Bob Dylan would come on. That was like, it was starting to be like my theme song there, And it was like all the time I felt like I was on the edge of death, you know. And a lot of it was just the job. It was such a dangerous job, And there were several people killed in the 11 years. I'm sorry, the 16 years that I did it. And yeah, I never got hurt, which is kind of crazy because everybody at least gets hurt a few times. But I still can't believe that I did that for 16 years. And I've done free falls down mountains. I went over a cliff. Oh my God, I rolled a 20,000-pound buggy up at 16% grade down to the bottom and stopped 6 inches before dropping off another 10-foot cliff down into the river. I just can't count these experiences. And so I keep getting back to
I'd like
some
to share a
of
little
it. Some of
something.
us are just meant to live, and then it makes you start. It kind of gives you an ego almost, and I hate that about it. You know what I mean?
I'd like to share a little
But
something
it's
Matthew
like,
Turner said, which he can relate to what you're saying, David.
but it's
Matthew
like, why
Turner
are you
saying
doing
Dennis Flightus and himself have had that kind of shit happen, bro. It's called Black Dog Phenomena. Also, chasing that freight just to put fuel in the goddamn truck to make it to the next pickup. It's because we were burning ourselves out, bro. It has happened to a lot of us drivers, and it's called Black Dog Phenomena.
Yeah,
Familiar.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Matthew.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't tired. Born in New Mexico, land of enchantment. I know you've never been there. It's a beautiful state. It's like driving across Mars. A lot of the terrain is like Mars, and they call it the land of enchantment for a reason. It's very enchanting going across there, and the topography and geology is just really cool. So yeah, it's like you drive, kind of drive one of those places where you drive wide-eyed, open. You know what I mean? Like you're paying attention to what's around you because it's a cool drive. And
Matthew Turner says that he's
definitely
literally
wasn't
passed the
tired.
same mailbox. David, Matthew Turner says he's literally passed the same mailbox 4 times, which was his delivery address, and he never knew. He just shut down some 8 miles down the road because he was so tired. He should never have been driving, which is probably something that you've experienced yourself.
Yeah, all of us truckers that have millions of miles in, we got a lot of crazy stories to tell. I couldn't drive anymore, so I decided to get some sleep. And I knew I was in the town I was delivering in, but this was before GPS and couldn't get there till you called the customer in the morning and you wake up and you're sitting in the yard that you're supposed to be delivering in. That's stuff like that. It's pretty hilarious, But again, you feel like you kind of have these guardian angels, these spirits kind of tugging on you at times and keeping you going. And while you're doing it, you're miserable. You're tired all the time. You're eating like crap. It's a terrible existence.
Yes.
It's a terrible career. But again, like I said, some of us are just meant to live, and it makes you question why. I would have been happy to have died, 20 years ago. I long for death so much, and I just want to go to that other side. I've never felt like I was really from here to begin with, and kind of hate being here actually. But I mean, it's also a blessing, and I appreciate everything I got and all the beauty I got to see and all the places I got to go and all the wonderful people I ever met. But on the same note, I'm ready to go, and I've been like that for a long time. So it's always made me wonder, like what point am I? Like, why am I here? Like what is my point?
I got a question. Yeah, I got a question with Jim Andre. Jim, it's come to the top of the hour. We've got like 50 viewers at the moment, so it's up to you what you want to do.
Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, it's about that time.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. My first live show, and we got it done, so I appreciate it, y'all.
Yeah, did a good job. You'll be back on someday.
Yeah. Anytime, man. It's like right now, like I said, I'm just on a hiatus. I'm just kind of chilling and.
Yeah, David, you could say you danced the fandango with Jim Andre and Bradley Powers.
Yeah, we tripped the light fandango, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's it. We got it. We tripped. Yeah.
I'd like to thank everybody for their interaction, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah.
Well, peace out, everybody. Much love and blessed be. 111 all day. Play it at night.
Yeah.